it's Lucy here at Lucy's Sew Studio, and thank you so much for joining me and watching my vlogs. If this is your first one, then welcome. I've had loads of new subscribers recently. I've tipped over the 1,000 marker, which I'm super excited about, and I can't wait to share more of my sewing adventures with you. So today, what I wanted to share with you are some of my favourite handmade sewing storage projects and makes that I've made and completed over time with my ladies in the sewing studio here and online, and I just use them constantly in my own day-to-day work in the studio here. So I thought I would share them with you. I've got links to them all, so you can go and find them and have a go yourself and make them from home as well. Yeah, and I hope you enjoy. I'm just going to share with you today that I'm wearing my Till in the Buttons Stella joggers. If you can see, I'll get back as far as I can. I made these a little while ago. They're super comfy, and it's cold here in the UK and it's half term. So I am in my comfies doing this little vlog for you. So first of all, there's a few things. What have I got here? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my favourite things that I've made over the last couple of years that I still religiously use all the time in my sewing studio. I don't know about you, but I have so many pin cushions. I have pins all over the studio in different places, because I find that I'll pin something, go and sew it and take the pins off there. Then I'll go somewhere else to, I don't know, press something and I need some more pins. So I keep them scattered everywhere. I have plenty. And there's a few different pin cushions I've made along the way that really helped me achieve that. A little wrist pin cushion. So this one obviously comes with you as you move around your space. And it's just really nice because as you sew, you could take the pin out and stick it straight in your pin cushion. And it's really simple to make. And I have a little tutorial of how to make this, a free tutorial on my YouTube channel here. So I will pop the link for you above. But yeah, really, really nice little make. It just uses a few basic materials, a piece of elastic. So if you don't have elastic in your sewing space, or if in your sewing supplies, you could buy some. But equally, if you've got an old skirt or something, or pyjamas, you'll probably find some in there as well. It's just got offcuts of fabric. It uses a really small amount. The thicker the fabric, the better, because it keeps it sturdier. I've got a bit of cardboard and then something to stuff it with. This is just stuffed with hollow fibre stuffing, but you could equally stuff it with something to keep your pins nice and sharp. For instance, wire wool. You could stuff it with felt, anything you've got really lying around that's going to keep it its nice shape. And I love this one because it's just there and I don't forget my pins and I can move them with me. And it's really nice for when I'm actually sewing at my machine because it's right next to me, so nothing falls on the floor. You take your pin out, stick it straight in. So yeah, so this is a really great little make. Perfect for if you're just starting out sewing and you want to know what essentials you need to have to hand. This is perfect. Make yourself one of these. Good for practicing as well. So that's my first pin cushion that I use. And then in my workshops, I've made a couple of different types of sewing area sort of tidies as such. One that I've made a few times face-to-face workshops is the thread catcher. My sewing ladies love making these. They are fantastic little gadgets. Again, not too hard to make. Anybody can make them. They just take a little bit of concentration. I've got a couple of these in my studio here. You can hang them on your ironing board. You can hang them next to your workspace. They're nice and weighty. And of course, I've got my trusted pin cushion in the top that is weighted down. This one is weighted down with rice. And then I've got my thread catcher bucket at the bottom here, and it just hangs from the pin cushion, and you can fill it up with all your scraps, and then you can just tip it in the bin once you're done. And I equally sometimes, as you can see on here, I've got a couple of safety pins. I might add some clips around whatever I'm using in my sewing at the time. So love these, and these have been really popular in past face-to-face workshops in my studio here. You can also purchase this pattern and a video tutorial as well from my Sew Studio online. I will pop the link below for you if you'd like to have a go at making one of these for yourself. And once you do one, you need to make another, because we all need two, don't we, at least? One on our ironing board and one next to our sewing machine. But yeah, they are fab. Really, really good little make. I absolutely love using mine. and I would totally recommend having a go at making a thread catcher pincushion and bucket. So that's another one that I use a lot of. Something similar to that, a little bit simpler to make. I made this in my new Lucy's Sew Club. We did this one last Thursday or last week. And this is, again, very similar to the thread catcher, but it's called a sewing caddy or sewing organizer. So again, it's got the pincushion at the top. That's weighted, so it holds it on your work surface. And then you've got some little pockets in the background to keep all, you know, your essentials, a little pair of scissors, tape measure, whatever you might want to keep to hand. And then a more open pocket at the front that you can use like a thread catcher, or you can fill it with fabric clips. I sort of choose what I use in my studio. I either use pins, which I do a lot to be fair, or I use these fabulous little fabric clips as well, which are really super handy for making sort of items like this, for instance. So if you didn't want to use your little bucket there as a little bin or thread catcher bin, let me just get rid of those scraps where I've been using mine. You could equally fill that up with your clips, and then you've got your clips really handy as well for when you're sewing. So yes, that's my little, what I call sewing caddy, and that was made in our sew club recently. And it's even got a little hanging loop, so you could hang it on a wall if you wanted to, if you haven't got space so much. And it will just hang on the wall next to you, and you still got your pincushion you can use, you still got your little bucket, you still got all your little compartments, and it just hangs on the wall next to you as well. So it's really versatile, and I try and do everything that we make to be as adaptable to different people's workspaces as well. So, you know, I'm lucky to have a space where I can keep it all out, but not everybody is. So I like to make things that people can, you know, roll up, for instance, and pop it in the cupboard when they're done. Or if they've got a permanent work surface, great, they can use it on their work surface. But equally, if they haven't, they might have a little picture they can take down, hook this up when they're sewing, and take it down and pack it away again if they've got a sort of space that's in their family area that they need to use for other things. So that's our little sewing caddy, which I also love, and I've been using that this week lots and lots in my studio up here to help me with my keep organised with my sewing. So that's that one. So they're quite similar, but really good makes. And this one I've got a link to as well. It's not a video tutorial, but it is a written instruction tutorial with the patterns, so you can have a go at home. And it's quite straightforward, so even beginners will be able to have a go at that. What else do I love? This little project was one I done quite a while ago, and I sell this in my shop already in pattern form, so you can purchase it, the written instructions. You can also purchase at the moment the pack with the fabric, but when that's sold out, you can just purchase the pattern. And it's my little scissor case. And I love this because I'm always scattering my scissors and things all over the place, and I'm a bit of a nightmare for dropping them. I must admit, I have to be really careful because it blunts them if you know, drop them at the wrong angle. So this just stores all of your cutting equipment, well, not all, but your main cutting equipment close by, and it also protects it as well. It's padded. It's a super little handy case. It's really small, so equally if you've got a sewing case that you put your machine in to pack away, you could pop that in there with your scissors. I've got my scissors in there. I've got my rotary cutter blade down. You could also pop a little pair, let me just grab those little scissors, a little pair of scissors in the front there as well. And it just keeps them all together nice and snug, and the padding just protects all the blades. So it keeps them all together wherever you're sewing. You can store them away really easily, so you have to put your stuff away in a drawer if you've got a box or something. Really great for looking after your sewing equipment, particularly your scissors, which are super important to stay nice and sharp, as you've probably established. So this is one of my other favourite little makes, and this is the scissor case. So again, you could purchase the pattern from me. We've made this a few different times. A long time ago, when I used to do a social sewing group, we made these originally, and then I've made them with my sewers in the studio up here, and now I have them online as well. There's a little bit of quilting on there as well that we've done, so it's a nice little sort of extra. You can add sort of little decorative pieces in there. You can see I've quilted like a little pair of scissors. Yeah, so you can sort of decorate things and make them your own, make them personal as well, which I really, really love. So that's my scissor case. So that's another great addition to your sewing space that you can make yourself, from scraps as well. Most of these makes you can make from scraps or fat quarters. You don't have to have a lot of fabric. These types of makes, I've used cotton canvas fabric. It's much thicker, it's like a curtain fabric. It just gives a bit more strength to what you're making. It holds its shape much better. The scissor pouch is made with just cotton fabrics. These are quilting cotton fabrics. It's got wadding inside as well, so that keeps its shape. But yeah, so cotton canvas I tend to use for these types of projects because it's just a bit thicker and it just holds itself, and it's going to last a bit longer than cotton's a bit stronger. And then one of the other things that I want to share with you, this is my last thing today, which I have used since I made it. I absolutely love this project, and this again was one of my face-to-face workshops that I used to do with my ladies when I was currently open. Now it's online, and it's the vinyl pouch. This can be used for anything. I use it obviously for my sewing space, but you could use it to all sorts of things. They're great for children as well. You could keep little toys in them. You could keep Lego in them to take in the car or something, or on if you're going to a restaurant, you want to keep them quiet. What you could use them for is endless. They are fantastic. There are a few different fabrics that you need for this. We use a vinyl inside here, which you can purchase online from many fabric shops, but you might just have to have a little search. You may not have used that before in your sewing. It's super easy to use in this project because we always encase it with fabric top and bottom, so it doesn't get stuck on your machine. So it's a bit like an oilcloth. But here it is. And again, it comes all the way open. You've got 3 little see-through pockets. This is the vinyl, these bits here. This project we also use zips, so it's a great project for learning or getting more confident in applying zips. And I store all of my sewing machine bits and pieces in there. So I've got needles, bias binder, maker, my extra spool holder, and then I've got all my different feet in there, all buttonholes at the bottom for different machines, and it just keeps it all together, all in one place. It just rolls up like that and rolls open again. Keeps it all clean. I can just look at it, see what I'm looking for without having to open it, and then when I'm ready, just unzip and go in my pouch and get out what I need. And I just keep that next to me on my work surface when I'm using something out there, so I can put it straight back in again. Brilliant little make. I say so myself, brilliant little make. And we've made these so many times with my sewers. They're a little bit tricky. The bias binding around the outside is a little bit tricky and has been frustrating at times when we've been making it. But perseverance, take your time, and it just comes out beautifully in the end. They always do. They always look amazing in the end. So these are the vinyl pouch. Yes, and I love this as well. And literally from the moment I made this is like my prototype for the workshop, and I've used it ever since for my sewing up here. I love it. And again, you could travel with it. So if you want to take your sewing machine somewhere, if you don't have a space, you have it out all the time and you've got to put it away, it's perfect. You can put it all away and then it's all safe and sound, all clean and dry, all together in your sewing space. And again, I don't, because I tend to use whatever fabrics I have to hand, because I love all sorts of different fabrics and designs. But you could also coordinate your sewing space. You can use, similar fabrics. So here, look, I've got spots and spots, so you could kind of coordinate your fabrics if you wanted to. I tend to just go with whatever I've got to hand that I like the look of and I think will look lovely. I tend to mishmash. I like it that way. Uses up all my scraps. They are my 5 most favourite top things that I've made handmade to help me with my sewing storage and help assist me in my day-to-day sewing as well, that I would highly recommend making for your workspaces. And it doesn't matter if your workspace is out all the time or whether you have to pack it in a cupboard every evening because it's the dining room table, for instance. It really doesn't matter. All of these things are practical, useful, and can be stored away as well. So let me know if you've made any of these things, or if you've seen these things before and thought, oh, I'd really like one of those. They look really cool. That'd be really helpful for me in my sewing space. I'd love to know in the comments below. I'm also going to put links to all of these items, where you can find them and where you can make them. The vinyl pouch is not quite finished and up for sale yet, but if you want to be first to know when that tutorial is ready to go live, ready to purchase, then subscribe to my newsletter. I will also put in the comments, and I will let my newsletter subscribers know first of all, and you may even get a sneaky discount when it comes out. That's my vinyl pouch. But everything else, you can get sewing this weekend maybe. End up with something amazing that you can use every day in your sewing, which you will absolutely love and enjoy forever. So if you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I would love you to subscribe. I've got so many sort of hints and tips, sewing that I want to share with you in the future. And coming up, in fact, I am revamping one of my sewing wall spaces, and I'm adding some more on the subject of organisation and useful sewing aids. I'm organising one of my sewing walls to be more useful and help me store all the sewing equipment that I use. And I'm going to be showing you how I'm going to do that. And I'm going to be making the bits and pieces to go on that wall. I can't give too much information away, you'll have to wait and see. So there's going to be a bit of woodwork going on, and there's going to be a bit of lovely pretty gluing and maybe some fabric gluing or decoupage in there too. And I'm going to share that with you soon. So subscribe to my channel if you want to see what that is and you want to get a bit crafty with me. And I will reveal my new organisational wall very, very soon. So I hope you enjoyed that. Have an amazing day. Happy sewing, everybody. And I'll see you soon.